All right, this is the Smoke Canyon vertical smoker with offset firebox. Total cooking area, as you can see here, is almost 1,300 square feet, which is a lot. Main chamber is 1,100, and offset firebox is 254. Here's kind of the gist here: 5 chrome-plated cooking chambers, 2 pieces of porcelain-coated grates in the offset firebox. The chrome-plated sausage hooks are actually pretty cool. I'll show you those. Backdoor main chamber for adding water, which is extremely convenient. Warming plate on the offset firebox. And then you've got a 3-inch temperature gauge and 10-inch what they call wagon style wheels. So this is what it looks like. The reason I bought this is simply because, again, you have so much room here. You don't have to use it all, obviously. Most of the time I would not use 5 crates. Grates, excuse me, not crates, grates. And you can use 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter. But again, it's got a lot of room in there. The wheels are pretty big if you need to move it around. The temperature gauge is right up top. You've got, a little chimney there. So I think, a little over $300 for this item. I'm gonna unbox the whole thing at once, and I'll show you that to see what it looks like outside the box. And then I'll slowly do some of the assembly, and I hope that helps. We'll see how it works. I'll do some cooking videos with it as well. All right, so this is when you open the box. First thing you want to look for, obviously, is the instructions, which is right on top here. It's really not that complicated. I'll pull them out and show you in a second, and then remove all the styrofoam, and I'll show you what you have here with all the parts. All right, so when you get it out, stand it up, as you can see here. Here's the top, and then there's the chimney, and all the parts are in there. So I highly recommend you tilt the box up. It does say that on the box. You'll see where it says arrow up. I'm gonna literally undo all of this on the floor and put it all in different pieces to hope it will make better sense when you put it together. All right, I've got everything unassembled, unwrapped. It probably took me about 20 minutes. I didn't do one of those fast forward videos. I think most people think it's pretty boring, but here's a quick overview of all the different parts. It is definitely a little intimidating on a scale of 1 to 10. I would call this installed about a 6 to a 6.5. There's not a lot to it. It's not that complicated, but again, it's something that could be intimidating. This is really important. Get all the nuts and bolts together, just hand tighten them, and then once everything is together, go back and go ahead and tighten them up. I'm gonna do a quick install video. Here is the plethora of parts. You've got your wheels, drip pans, there's your grates, that's where the smoke box is. There's the smoke box door. Again, it's not that complicated, but again, I would recommend follow the instructions. You can see all the nuts and bolts there in a package. I leave them in there, and as I go, I take them out. I don't just dump them all out. That's just my style of doing it. And again, there's your spring doors and things like that. So again, take your time. I'll show you a little bit here, kind of step by step, but not too detailed. You can see kind of what they're going for here to go ahead and get the wheels on, get it stable in the base, so you can kind of work your way around everything else. Then they head to the smoke box, which is an important part to this. You definitely want this part to be installed correctly. Drip pans, springs, door handles, things like that. And again, you can kind of see it taking shape here and here for a final product of what's going to look like that. So you have the smoke box on the left, the wheels underneath here. Here's your regulation of the airflow. You got 2 grates in here, and then you've got the 4 grates, which are those. And here, I mean, again, not that complicated. The stabilization legs are here, and then of course the door right there. So let's get to it. Okay, all right. So this is the firebox upside down. This is the bottom. We went ahead and put the handle on, which is the top. It's 1 screw and 1 bolt there. These are pre-threaded right here, so you're going to use bolt A. It's very simple, if you can see right here. Got 1, 2, and 3 on each side. And all you have to do is drop these down in there, and the threads will catch. All right, so here's the hardest part. So this is the damper, And what you're looking for is, this is screw D, and then on the back side is F. This nut is F. And then the back side here is H, it's silver. And the front side is a standard A. So you can see how this little tab, you can really put it anywhere in here. So that's to close it. This is the latch that moves. And so it took me a little while just to make sure I had it straight, but I hope that helps. Okay, so this is probably the second hardest part. This is the damper door. I have the box kind of on its side here. And then what you take these tabs, see how I put this one in and then it flattens out? And then you're gonna take an A, it's self-threaded, as you can see here. So basically what these do is, as they go into the slot here, they fold back. It lines up the threaded screw, and you just put them on it. It's not hard, but it takes a little bit of kind of maneuvering on this to get it straight, flat, and get them all lined up. Okay, so this is screw E. You can see where there's threads on the bottom, and then there's this gap at the top. So it's gonna go on the damper door. Again, it's pre-threaded, as you can see. It's very simple. Just start it in there, and then as you can see, because of this gap, when you can go and you can lift this down to lock it. Okay, this is the offset to the Firebox. Again, I have this on the side. The way this works is you've got to put it on inside here, and you're going to slide it through the hole. So what you're looking for, and you pay attention to, is you're only putting 4 screws here, here, and on the other side. And the way you're going to screw them in is you need to make sure that you're screwing them straight down, like down this way, because the threads are on this side, but remember, you're installing it on the inside. So it's 4 A screws on each side, inset it. Okay, so the next step is this offset Firebox. This is a little bit of a complicated move too. So take this and then you need to bring it in from the inside, all right? These are A screws. These are the offset bracket plates that you're gonna use later. So what I did here is I showed it to you both ways. So essentially, this part is threaded on the inside right here. See how I have it already connected to just to hold it? But you wanna put the screws on here first, go down, and the threads on the inside will hold this together. But again, put the screws in to the plate first before you bolt it in. Okay, so learned a few things. This is why I do these videos. I have it on its side. As you can see, I have the insert in, and then what I did not do is tighten these bolts down. I had to take them out because, number one, they weren't lining up correctly, but also because this bracket here, the only way to get this in, again, this is why I do these videos, you have to be able to see how this moves. So the only way to get this in, I had to undo everything, and they tell you to do it afterwards, and now it drops in, right? So this is A, these are bolts G, and then once that's in, then I recommend you go and tighten these. Okay, so this silver piece, ladies and gentlemen, is called the sausage hook hanger. And here's your smokestack. So you can see how there's these little tabs right there that hold it on. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna thread this through, and then you're gonna line up the screws. That's the A's. And then on the inside here, you just line it up. It's already pre-threaded. All right, next is the smokestack lid. So just unscrew this, and then set this on top like that, and then push down a little bit, and voila. There you go. Okay, so now we're back at the bottom where the legs are. Here's your grease pan hanger. You see these little slots right here. Put one on that side. Put one on that side. And then here's your grease pan. Fits like a glove. Alright, so next we're going to attach the handle on the front door. So this is, again, when I do these videos, the hardware is already attached onto the handle. I looked for a good 3 minutes trying to figure out where it was. So unscrew this, and you can maybe you can see it. There's a little slot right there, and it fits right in there. And then washer and bolt on the other side. All right, so next you're gonna put the handle onto the smoke box. So again, hardware is already installed. It's not rocket science. I'm not gonna overcomplicate it. but the angle goes down, so when you lift up, it goes up. So put those in, and then we're gonna work on that next. All right, so once you have the handle on like so, it's tightened up. Again, the hardware is already installed right here. So essentially, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your hinges, you're gonna push them both back, and then once they're in like this, you're gonna go ahead and put in your screws. It's super easy. All right, now it's time to install the ever important thermometer. As you can see, there's threads already on it, and there's threads in here. It's as simple as you could possibly do. Just get it started, thread it on in. One quick tip, if it's not the way you want to line it up, just loosen this bolt a little bit and thread it out a little bit, and then tighten this down to center it up. All right, the last piece here before you put in the grates is the door. Just line up your hinges and voila, you're done. All right, the last step here is putting in all of the grates, and one little piece I was going to show you here is you have to put this one in the bottom, kind of flip it like that, and then that is how your drip pan sits on the bottom. So there you have it. Voila, ready to cook. Everything's absolutely where it needs to be. Hope that helped. Enjoy.